Annabel stared at her textbooks, her eyes scanning the formulas and financial theories like a puzzle she was determined to solve. She was only 16, but her ambition reached far beyond the walls of St. Bridget's, the prestigious boarding school she had called home for the last 4 years. Every day in this old stone building, nestled in the countryside, brought her one step closer to her dream, to become a successful banker in the city, to make something of herself, and to rewrite her family story. Her father had once owned a small business, but when it collapsed, her family had struggled to make ends meet. Her mother, practical and resilient, had taken a job in a grocery store, instilling in Annabel the importance of hard work and financial security. Annabel promised herself that she would never let her family struggle like that again. That's why she had begged for the scholarship to St. Bridget and why she stayed up late every night, poring over numbers and economic models. Her roommate, Lydia, often teased her for being so focused. "Annabel, we're 16. We should be worrying about who's going to ask us to the winter dance, not the stock market." Lydia laughed one evening, tossing her hair in front of the mirror. Annabel only smiled. Lydia came from wealth, the kind that didn't blink at school fees or worry about rent. But Annabel couldn't afford to be distracted by dances or idle gossip. She had bigger plans, plans that stretched beyond the green lawns and ivy-covered walls of St. Bridget's. In class, Annabel's teachers noticed her dedication. Her economics teacher, Mr. Harris, often praised her for her ability to grasp complex concepts quickly. "Annabel, you've got a mind for this. Have you considered applying to the London School of Economics? It would be a perfect fit for you," he said one day after class. London. The idea thrilled and terrified her. The city was a far cry from the quiet halls of St. Bridget's, but Annabel had always imagined herself in a skyscraper, walking in the heart of the financial district, commanding attention in meetings, her decisions shaping the fates of companies. She began waking up even earlier, sneaking into the school library to read books on investment banking and finance. She studied biographies of successful women in banking, like Helena Morrissey and Stacey Cunningham, trying to understand their paths to success. On weekends, when most of the other girls were playing sports or visiting home, Annabel stayed behind, working on her personal projects, mock investment portfolios and detailed business plans. Despite the loneliness that sometimes accompanied her determination, Annabel found strength in her vision. There were days she felt out of place, a girl from a small town among girls born into privilege. She didn't have their fancy clothes or their casual confidence. But she had something else, a hunger, a drive to prove herself. And she knew, deep down, that this was her greatest asset. Graduation was fast approaching. Annabel had aced every exam, and her application to the London School of Economics had been sent off with glowing letters of recommendation from Mr. Harris and her headmistress. The wait for a response was agonizing, and Annabel often found herself pacing the school grounds, thinking about her future. One evening, as she returned to her dorm after a long study session, she found a letter waiting for her. Her heart raced as she recognized the emblem on the envelope, the London School of Economics. Hands trembling, she opened it. "Dear Miss Annabel Potter," it began. She could hardly breathe as she skimmed through the words, but when her eyes landed on "We are pleased to offer you a place," she gasped. She had done it. For the first time in years, Annabel let out a breath of relief. The road ahead would still be difficult, she knew that. But she was ready. She was no longer the small-town girl unsure of her place among the wealthy elite. She was Annabel Potter, future banker, and she had just taken the first step toward the city skyline she had always dreamed of. Her future was just beginning.